Khizr Khan is the father of an American soldier who was killed in Iraq in 2004. So what's he doing now? Well, he's giving talks at the Democratic National Convention. So let's go through his speech, and piece by piece we're going to decipher the propaganda and really cut to the chase of what all this is really about.
First, our thoughts and prayers are with our veterans.
Immediately, the bullshit flies at your face. It's so disgusting. The only question is, do I break it all down right now? Because you could spend an hour talking about how much bullshit that is and why he's doing it, or just try to save the analysis slowly for the entire video. The main point, I think, is that taking a flag of some tribe or nation, cloaking yourself in it, and calling forth the name of some god doesn't make anything holy, doesn't make anything right. For as long as there have been tribal groups, people have been murdering others, the other, people in the other group, conquering their lands, taking their resources in the name of their god. There's nothing unique or special about it, and because you're doing it, it certainly doesn't mean that there's anything unique, special, right, or holy about U.S. soldiers attacking other countries.
And those who serve today. Tonight we are honored to stand here as parents of Captain Humayun Khan and as patriotic American Muslims.
I'm 39 years old, and I'm sick of the shitstorms of verbal diarrhea that's constantly coming at me. Look, these things are not hard to cut through, but if you're watching this and you're offended by someone dissecting the shit of American propaganda, just turn off the video now because you're going to be offended. What is this guy getting at? Patriotic American Muslims. I don't believe in patriotism. Within a certain historical context, patriotism or tribalism is valid when you have small tribes of people who need to defend themselves against the dangers outside, and especially when there's scarcity of resources. Because what happens when you have a couple of different tribes and scarce resources, people are going to band together and then the tribe's going to have it out for conquest of those resources. So patriotism can be used to band people together to conquer resources, but it does have a use in banding people together for defense, which is legitimate in certain contexts. So if we want to understand the legitimacy of patriotism, it all has to be related to environmental context, technological context, historical context, because 10,000 years ago, some tribe living somewhere who's banded together because of their tribal identity, and that allows themselves to defend themselves against aggressors, that is completely valid. In 2016, a primitive tribal identity projected onto the United States, which is used as an excuse to band people together to mass murder others around the world in order to conquer oil. I mean, that is sick. And all of this patriotism is, at this point, is racism with a flag. Patriotism creates war. It is the shit that the owners of the means of production wrap themselves and their propagandists in order to convince the working class to kill each other, so that those capitalists can claim more resources and the means of production. What I say is, if someone in the capitalistic class wants to invade a foreign country, they should go there themselves and see how far they get and leave the rest of us alone. But this guy, it's like he's metaphorically speaking, it's like he's a masochist, and he likes to get fucked up the ass by the capitalistic class, which is why it's his honor to be there. And let's go to the shitstorm a little bit more, because what's he coming at? Who is he? Who are you? That's my question that I really have for him. Who the fuck are you? You're a patriotic American Muslim. That's not you. These are these identities. American, who gives a fuck? I'm just sick of the fucking shit. You're just some guy who lives in the United States. That's not an identity. That shouldn't be an identity. Somehow I'm able to function without identifying myself as an American. I don't identify as a Jew. I don't identify as a white person. I don't identify as an atheist because I don't identify as these things that I guess someone else could dump on me. Who am I? That's a question for obviously for myself, and I'm trying to live my life according to actualizing myself. But I'm not going around trying to actualize my life according to these bullshit identities. Why are you so weak-minded? Why are you so fragile that you can't deal with yourself? That you have to define yourself by these stupid identities? And then the whole Muslim thing. Oh, okay. I, well, there's two parts to the Muslim thing. One is if you want to believe some 1400-year-old Stone Age crap that came out of the desert, fine, that's your business. And if you want to go through the intellectual machinations to align this Stone Age desert religion with life with the United States and how it is in 2016 and merge it together so these identities don't clash in your mind. Again, that's fine. It's bullshit, but why should you be applauded over this? Why? I mean, if someone was worshiping Zeus and they went up on the podium and they said, as a proud worshiper of Zeus, the thunder god who created the universe, and an American, would they be congratulated for that? I mean, really, if so, why? And there are so many other gods. So why are you congratulated for claiming to be an American who worships Allah, whereas an American who worships Zeus belongs in the insane asylum? And it comes down to what the Democratic Party is and the identity politics. The Democratic Party doesn't really have an agenda except that they want you to vote for them so that they can serve their masters in the capitalistic class. And the Democratic Party, of course, and the Republican Party are the exact same party. They're just two subdivisions of the political party of the capitalistic class. So what the Democrats do is they kind of at some point hijacked the true liberal left, which was supposed to be an attack on the capitalistic class, going back to socialism. And from the Red Scare through McCarthyism, they got rid of all that crap and they replaced it with identity politics, which is endless discussion over the gays this and the blacks this, and let's have anti-racism and anti-homophobia and anti-Islamophobia, or whatever this identity crap is, and let's feminists and all this. And their basic idea is that they want to have the working class subjugated to the capitalistic class in some insane infinite growth paradigm. But let's just have equal oppression. Let's have the blacks equally oppressed with the white people. Let's have the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims equally oppressed by the capitalist class. But we're not even going to talk about class conflict. We're just going to talk about these identities. And if we just talk and talk and talk and talk about these identities, then we don't have to deal with the reality of the system we promote. That's what it's about. So he's bringing up the fact that he's Muslim. In fact, they have a Muslim there so that the Democratic Party can put itself up as the party that is against bigotry, the party that's inclusive of all types, and then the Republican Party is supposed to be, the conservative, where they're supposed to be the xenophobic one. And this stuff is so boring and so fucking stupid. The question is about capitalism, about who controls the means of production, about what humanity is doing when we have the ability to automate, but everyone's supposed to run out and work these stupid, pointless jobs for no reason. The question is about environmental destruction. There are real questions out there. And to set up this bullshit debate of Muslims and Christians and other religions and this identity politics, this is a fucking mindless distraction. It's fucking bullshit. And you're just there in order to bring attention away from real issues and talk about bullshit.
With As patriotic
USA chants? Isn't that kind of primitive and sick? Look, my loyalty should be to, I guess, the human species as a whole, life on planet Earth, and somehow progression to intelligent life on planet Earth. Because right now, there's no fucking intelligent life on planet Earth, and we're down to chanting USA, USA. Don't you feel so? Just a question of people out there who do this. Don't you feel so empty doing that? Are you really so vacuous and lacking sense of self that you need to emerge yourself into this bullshit identity of American? Do you really need that crap? It doesn't make you want to throw up to surrender into the mass mob of bullshit. I want someone to answer that. Don't tell me, don't curse at me, because people do that online about how they hate me because I don't believe in America. Tell me what it feels like to lose your identity of self, and doesn't that feel like you're betraying whatever sense of spirit or soul that you have?
American Muslims with undivided loyalty to our country. Like many immigrants, we came to this country empty-handed. We believed in American democracy, that with hard work and goodness of this country, we could share in and contribute to its blessings. We are blessed to raise our 3 sons in a nation where they were free to be themselves and follow their dreams.
I am trying to be concise, but blessings, what you're actually claiming that the United States material wealth and resources that it has is due to some blessings by some all-intelligent, all-knowing, all-powerful entity that controls the universe. And that this thing has given the United States blessings, and that's why people here are more shit, whereas if you go to Uganda, they have less because I guess God hasn't blessed them so much. What the fuck else could you possibly mean by these blessings? The United States has all the shit that it has because it was built on genocide of Native Americans, because it was built on moving in slave labor to work the South, because it was built on importing lots of cheap immigrant labor to work. It was built on then sending armies out and in imperialism and conquest, taking resources from other nations, whether outright taking the land, such as Texas, California, Hawaii, or just conquering the land, like the Philippines, for example, Puerto Rico, or more recently, just economically infiltrating the land and using trade agreements, and that sort of stuff, and then when you don't like what the other country does, using military force to take over or get rid of leaders you don't like. That's what the United States is built on, and also oil, and draining Texas of oil, then taking in oil from the Middle East. That's what the United States is built on. It's not built upon any supposed blessings. Go into reality, because this guy is so far out there. I also want to know how you reconcile. Please, I want specific details. How do you reconcile your Muslim faith with this bizarre religious notion that the United States has blessings from, I don't know, God, Allah, whatever? Why? Please tell me, if Islam is the true religion, why has Allah blessed the United States, which is full of infidels, and not like Bangladesh or Pakistan or someplace that's full Muslim fanatics? Because if I was Allah and I had to choose between Pakistan, Afghanistan, United States, I would try to put my blessings on the people who believed in me, not the fucking United States of America. And then you have all this American dream crap. This is going so long. I don't want to further tear apart the American dream even more, but this country is about moving surplus value created by the working class up to the capitalist class. Although that kind of stopped once you got through the Great Depression and World War II, because at that point, the facade that people are working jobs that actually produce things, that just falls apart. So this country is now like a fake economy. It's not even like people are working and making shit, and the capitalist class is collecting it, because most jobs are absolute bullshit. So please understand that the wealth of the United States is accumulated by taking it from poor people who work for it. And the reason why you had this so-called American dream where immigrants could come here and be relatively successful, like yourself, like I guess my grandparents to an extent, and I'm a beneficiary of them, is not because of the glory of the United States. It's not because of blessings. It's not because of capitalism. It's historically speaking because of mass labor movements and people like socialists who challenge the system. And just because you're an immigrant who comes here and you have some success here doesn't mean you should bow down to the fucking United States of America. You need to live in some fucking reality. And the next thing, there's so much crap here. You're talking about raising your son so they could choose to be who they want to be. Yeah, you don't believe that for yourself, and you clearly don't believe it for them. Because instead of saying to people or your children, you have to figure out who you are for yourself, you probably just dumped all these identities on them. You're an American, you're a Muslim, and who knows what other fucking crap of identities you're putting on them. But maybe your son believe you, so he went out and got himself killed, conquering someone else. We're going to get to that later.
Our son, Humayun, had dreams too of being a military lawyer, but he put those dreams aside the day he sacrificed his life to save the lives of his fellow soldiers. Hillary Clinton was right when she called my son the best of America.
Whatever worldview or paradigm is in place always congratulates those who are most loyal, most obedient, most slaves to that paradigm as the absolute best of people. That's why if you go into some religion, they're going to say the most crazy, devout religious person, that's who you want to model. If you go to a sporting event, it's the crazy lunatic fan who paints his face or chest or whatever and screams and gets all drunk. That's who the camera's going to show. Someone like that. They're the best. They're the people who are most devoutly, in line with whatever the system is. So that's what your son was. All he was is a stooge for the corporatocracy that sent him there to kill people for corporate plunder. That's all it is. The best of America. If the best of America is killing people in other countries for corporations to make money, then yes, then your son was the best of America.
If it was up to Donald Trump, he never would have been in America. Donald Trump consistently smears the character of Muslims. He disrespects other minorities, women, judges, even his own party leadership.
Okay, first of all, if things were Trump's way and your son wasn't here, he'd be alive. So it would be better for him. You fucking get that. I mean, it's like, am I missing something here? If Trump had it his way, your son would not have been here. He would not have been killed there. So it would have been better for your son. It was Bill Clinton who got NAFTA through, which was economic warfare on the poor people of Mexico, which drove them north and created the immigration crisis. So how do you claim that these Clintons or the Democratic Party care about poor people in other countries? You can't. Then you run off to, again, the more this identity politics stuff. Hillary Clinton does not care about women. She doesn't care about poor people. She doesn't care about any of that crap. She's just some corporate slut who's there to serve her masters in the capitalistic class. And I don't really feel like going into a big dissection of Hillary Clinton. Maybe I can link to some stuff because Abby Martin's done a good job of that. And finally, your son dreams of being a military lawyer. How fucking boring is that? I'd rather kill myself than be a military lawyer. Is it just me, or is that boring? Also, it's like you're in a system. You're defining yourself by being in a system. See, so it's like your son, he had these identities: Muslim, American. I'm in the system. It's like, who are you? Where's the development of self? It's like you're just a drone to systems, and you have to get some mindless drone person to stand up there and use and whore out your son's death in order to promote these oligarchs in the capitalistic class who are just funneling money to the Democratic Party to keep themselves in power, rather than allowing true legitimate opposition to run in their place, such as the Green Party or even the Libertarian Party.
He vows to build walls and ban us from this country. Donald Trump, you're asking Americans to trust you with their future. Let me ask you, have you even read the United States Constitution? I will gladly lend you my copy.
The implication is, of course, that Hillary Clinton, and by extension the Democratic Party, and Obama, who's been in power for like 7, 8 years, whatever, have been following the Constitution. But if we just look at the whole thing over surveillance, which comes from WikiLeaks and Snowden, that's how we know about them, who the United States, would like to put them in prison here, then we see that the Obama administration has not been following the U.S. Constitution. But that's just one of numerous examples. So why are these people applauding that Trump doesn't know the Constitution when the Democratic Party doesn't know the Constitution? The Eighth Amendment bans cruel and unusual punishment. What does that say about the tens of thousands of people held in solitary confinement? What the United States has done is created a form of bloodless torture because it's not supposed to be in the Middle Ages. You're not supposed to put people on the rack and stretch their ligaments apart. You're not supposed to burn them alive. So in order to have the guise that humanity or the United States has progressed morally from the Middle Ages, it has instituted bloodless torture, which is torture, extreme torture, perpetual torture, but just do it in a way in which you're not bloody about it. And let's talk about a true hero as opposed to your son who is I'm just going to say a fake hero at this point. Because, for example, if we go to World War I, and you hear millions of people dying, and for what? Because the fact of the matter is it takes more courage to turn around and face the mob and say, you people are wrong, this is the line I'm drawing, and I do something about it, and speaking up against them. And to do that when you're not just some person on the online saying I condemn the United States like I'm doing, but to actually put your body on the line and your life on the line and your sanity on your line in order to do that takes real courage beyond your comprehension, because you don't understand courage and you don't understand sacrifice. You understand conformity, and your son was a conformist, and that's all you are. You're given some lines, some script by an elite ruling class. Believe this shit and serve us, and you're just dutifully doing that. So, of course, the real hero I'm talking about is Chelsea Manning, who, you know, is in perpetual solitary confinement as some type of form of perpetual extreme torture. Now, doesn't that violate the Eighth Amendment of the Constitution that says no cruel or unusual punishment? See, you don't give a fuck about the U.S. Constitution. No. Do I really give a fuck about the U.S. Constitution? Well, not really, but I do respect that notion of no cruel and unusual punishment, not because it's in the Constitution, but because I don't believe people should be punished or tortured like that. But you do agree with that. You agree with torturing people indefinitely because you think it's fine. You're holding up the Constitution. You're saying the Democratic Party is supporting the Constitution. What does this say, about Guantanamo Bay? Somehow these things that just don't fit into the convenient worldview you created for yourself, they just don't exist in reality. Guantanamo Bay doesn't exist in reality. Torture doesn't, U.S. torture doesn't exist in reality. Police surveillance state that doesn't exist. The fact that the whole war was bullshit and your son died as part of an invading force, that doesn't exist in reality. The discrepancies between Islam and 2016 United States, that doesn't exist in reality. It's like, how do you manage all these things? 'Cause you have to be smarter than me because I couldn't do that. Do it. I don't know.
In this document, look for the words liberty and equal protection of law. Have you ever been to Arlington Cemetery? Go look at the graves of brave patriots who died defending United States of America. You will see all faiths, genders, and ethnicities. You have sacrificed nothing and no one. We cannot solve our problems by building walls.
I always thought it was somewhat contradictory how you have these Americans who want to congratulate the military and the fallen soldier, yet they believe in capitalism and this notion that everyone pursuing their narrow self-interest and competition and trying to crush the other, that they're both the way to go. And they seem contradictory because if you want to really, exalt the self-sacrifice of soldiers, shouldn't you say that as a nation, as a community, we should all work together, which is the antithesis of capitalism? I think it's this simple. If you're poor and you're being sent to fight for corporate plunder, well, then you should sacrifice and be altruistic, especially when your altruism is serving the capitalistic class. But if you're making money off of poor people, then altruism is bad. Anyone who complains about that is a fucking communist.
Sowing division, we are stronger together. And we will keep getting stronger when Hillary Clinton becomes our president. In conclusion, I ask every patriot American, all Muslim immigrants, and all immigrants to not take this election lightly.
When it comes to creating division, doesn't it sometimes seem that the identity politics people who claim to be fighting division, they're the ones feeding into it? Because instead of actually talking about things that matter, such as automation and technology making work obsolete, environmental degradation, you know, the capitalistic class hoarding more and more and more while we have this widening, you know, poverty in the United States. And instead of talking about things that really matter, you're just fueling this bullshit debate between are Muslims good or bad, immigrants, no immigrants. It's like that's a side issue compared to the things that really, really, really matter. But furthermore, the issues around immigration, for example, and providing resources for those people, that's not going to be solved by saying let's be inclusive, because being more inclusive in your world just means having lots of poor immigrants running around, because you're not actually challenging capitalism. If we fix the economic issues, then we could just provide for everyone, not just all Americans, but everyone in the world. But you're not interested in everyone in the world. You're interested in patriotic Americans and Americans who are following along with the system. But you're basically feeding off of this bullshit identity politics debate. It's like this is what gets you going. So you're not fighting the vision. You are a parasite leech, sucking the lifeblood out of the nation, getting fat on the debate over division.
This is a historic election, and I request to honor the sacrifice of my son. And on election day,
Your son did not die serving the United States. He did not sacrifice himself for the United States. Alter reality. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Iraq did not invade the United States. Where did your son die? Did he die in Iowa? Did he die in the streets of New York defending us from the Iraqi invasion? No, he died over there. Son, he didn't die defending the United States. Iraqis kill your son in the defense of Iraq. So under your worldview of patriotism being good, the good guys are the Iraqis who murdered your son, and they were justified in murdering your son, and your son deserves to die. If you really believe in patriotism, I don't see any way around it. Your son was killed by people defending your nation. Your son was partaking in mass murder. If you look at the effects of Iraq on the millions of dead, the depleted uranium, your son was taking part in genocide against the people. And I don't use the word lightly. I think a lot of times people fling it around. But I think if you look at the long-term effect of depleted uranium on Iraq, I would question if anyone's going to be living there in 100 years from now. People are just going to get the fuck out or they're going to die. That's what your son was doing. He did not sacrifice himself for this country. People join the United States military either because they're some type of lunatic fanatic and they just want to kill people, or they're looking for some career and it's a nice paycheck, so they agree to murder people and take orders, you know, as mercenaries, essentially. That's what they are. And there's a chance that they get killed, but they don't actually like join the army saying, "Yeah, I'm ready to sacrifice my life for this shit." It's just something that happens.
take the time to get out and vote for the healer. Vote for the strongest, most qualified candidate, Hillary Clinton, not the divider. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Isn't that final "God bless you" great? Evoking the word of God. Please, if someone out there is really smart, maybe you can get a Quran and get you know, some type of analysis of the current corporatocracy we're living in the United States and capitalism, and merge them together into some type of cohesive philosophy. Because it seems that somehow this guy has done it. Now, if you can do it, I mean, if you can figure that out, then you should like write a book about it and spread it throughout the whole, you know, Muslim world. This is why the Quran fits in exactly with the United States of America, and we should be like them. Because otherwise, it's all bullshit. Because you say you're this, you're that. You're just a conformist, lazy thinker. It's not even like you're a real person. To me, a person is someone, you know, who has passion, who wants to create, who has their sense of self, who's not looking to define themselves by everything out there, but is looking to develop something inside of themselves. And I'd ask, what is this person developing except to conformity to institutions that he feels that if he serves, he gets something back? But what are you getting back? Because your son was killed. So these institutions are like fucking you up the ass, but you're just asking for more and more and more. It's like you need to surround yourself by these institutions. Well, and it's sick. You're really a sick person, evocating God and religion and all these high morals, or not, I think they're morals, but all these supposed whole ideas with the corporatocracy that goes out and conquers, third world nations and tortures people and surveillance state and militarized police and destroying the environment. I mean, how do you merge all this stuff? Anyway, for anyone who's watched this video, I'm sorry it's been so long. I hope it was interesting to watch. As a total side, if anyone kind of likes what I say and they're good at singing metal, like a voice, like a music track could be sent to you and you like put down metal vocals, I really could use that because I have this great song written, but I don't want to do the vocals myself because do I sound like someone who could sing metal? That's a total aside issue, but if anyone out there likes to sing metal, male, female, I don't care. That's really what I'm desperately looking for right now. Any comments that are positive, I like those. If there are any negative comments, please make it rational at least, because I don't like this crap. Oh, fuck you! You don't like America. No, I don't like America because my loyalty is to humanity. Anyway, that's it for now, and okay, bye.